Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Kansas City jazz singer David Cunningham of the Dan Riggs Big Band on the Make Music Day 2023 in Kansas City. In honor of the longest month of daylight that there is all year long, Kansas City will again celebrate the occasion with music on June 21st. As a part of this celebration, David will be performing with the Dan Riggs Big Band from 6:30 to 8:30 at the World War I Museum. We cover this event, the band, his history, and so much more. Enjoy the interview.
Thank you for reaching out about the Making Music Day in KC. So I'm ready to get into it. Let's get a little backdrop here real quick before we actually get into that. Kind of give everybody out there a little bit of an introduction to you and the band and what you do.
We're the Dan Riggs Big Band. We are a traditional 17-piece big band swing band. We play all the standards, In the Mood, String of Pearls, Kansas City, and along with some newer stuff, we play like Proud Mary, I Feel Good. I'm a vocalist, so I will do like some Dean Martin, like Evening in Roma, or Until the Real Thing Comes Along, and then also do songs such as Whiter Shade of Pale and Kissin' a Fool.
So how long have you guys been around doing this?
Oh my gosh, probably about, we're kind of an offshoot of the Lee Summit Stage Band, which was around way before I even got into Kansas City. But as the iteration of the Dan Riggs Big Band, we've been around for probably 12, 13 years.
How do you keep an outfit that big together for this long? How does it work? How's the glue stay good and solid?
Well, fortunately, I have a bunch of the instrumentalist musicians that just have all kinds of tentacles in the local music scene, and anytime somebody has to drop out for whatever reason, they move, they get conflicts with work, I'll have a trumpet player or a trombone player or keyboard player say, I think I know somebody, and they kind of step up, and we just kind of go from there. We'll take as many people as you want. And anybody listening in the Kansas City area, if you want to come in and sit in on a rehearsal, you're more than welcome to. You can call my number here, 816-830-9499, or Dan Riggs Big Band at yahoo.com if you want to shoot me an email.
So where do the rehearsals take place?
We rehearse twice a month, the second and fourth Tuesdays, the second Tuesday in Lee Summit, and the fourth Tuesday in Grandview. You
reached out to me in regards to Make Music Day, and we're talking about the 2023 incarnation. It's June 21st, and I've witnessed this firsthand. It's a wonderful project. Music gets made all over the metro. Talk to me a little bit about your involvement in this, and kind of just give us a little bit of a backdrop here to entice us to come see you play.
Sure. Well, we'll be at the World War I Museum and Memorial down by Union Station. We'll be playing from 6:30 to 8:30. I encourage everybody, if you enjoy big band music, please come out. And we would enjoy seeing you there. If you get the mood to get up and dance, we really enjoy that, because that's what we consider ourselves first and foremost as a dance band. But if you're not into big band music, go to makemusicday.org. You can scroll through, because they've got chapters in every state and across the country. And you can click on Missouri, and if you're in Kansas City, click on Kansas City, and it'll bring up 31 different locations starting at 11 a.m., and you'll find everything from country music to R&B to people that put out that they're open to anything. And they have like a couple of clinics. They got like a drum clinic and I believe a harmonica clinic.
Have you been involved with this before?
We did it. We were able to do it 2 years ago. We were at a place called the Concourse, which is up in the historic Northeast Kansas City. It was a very lovely location. And when we finished that night, we were followed by the Harmony Project KC, which offers free music lessons to area students, area children, and they put on a string quartet and a string octet. And so I stuck around for that, because I think that kind of chamber music hits me in my heart. I just love it.
So, the thing about the big band is that obviously, jazz isn't the popular music. It hasn't been for a long time. But the big bands always stay strong. They're always around in all of these cities around America, especially here in Kansas City. Talk to me a little bit about the strength of the big band and how it's survived for this long and it still stays so relevant?
Well, what cracks me up is that I've had people in the past say to me, that it's kind of a dead genre, that nobody really listens to it anymore. But yet, anytime any singer puts out an album of standards, it goes through the roof, and they'll do like 3 or 4. Because back in the 70s, Linda Ronstadt did a couple of albums of big band, and then in the 80s, it was Nat King Cole's daughter, Natalie Cole. She was doing big band music. And then the 90s, Rod Stewart did like 4 or 5 albums from the Great America Songbook. And now we've got Michael Bublé, and he's killing it with his songs. And he's, once again, just reaching into the Great America Songbook, the Cole Porters, the Irving Berlin songs that everybody knows and loves. And I think it'll never go away. I think it's a genre that will never go away, no matter what anybody thinks.
I think there's a level of timelessness to it. I think that's the big thing. It's as much as we advance into the modern era, it's always timeless when it comes down to it.
That's definitely true. The only drawback is I don't think it's a viable like it was in the 40s and 50s, just because of logistics and expense, that people can travel with 14, 15 pieces with musicians and vocalists. But if you find a venue in your area where the big band's going to play, they pack them in.
Speaking of making music, let's go back in your life. How did this journey into making music, and more specifically jazz, begin for you? Where were you born and raised, and how did you get kind of pulled in, influences, things along those lines that got you in?
Well, I'm originally from St. Louis, and I moved to the Kansas City area. And one day I was listening to a local radio station, and they mentioned that they were looking for singers. A big band was looking for singers. That was the Lee Summit Stage Band, and I contacted the gentleman that ran that, Mr. Lawrence Williams, and I just kind of, on a lark, went to a rehearsal and fell into it and was able to sing songs with them for about 6 or 7 years, and then Mr. Williams moved away, and from that, the Dan Riggs Big Band was kind of born, and I was lucky that they let me kind of run the show, so I get to pick what songs I want to sing, and I'm just pleased as punch that I've got a group of dedicated and really fine musicians that are willing to back me up and watch me kind of sing and talk and make a fool of myself in front of the audience.
So who were influences for you? Who'd you look up to? Who kind of fueled you?
Well, in St. Louis, the big radio station was 1120, and it was talk radio Monday through Friday. But on Saturday nights, they would do a big band. One of the local weathercasters, Mr. Jim Boland, would do a big band show. And my parents were from that era, from the 40s and that. And so my dad would always have it on, and I'd come home from work Saturday night and sit there and eat dinner and listen to Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Bobby Darin singing the standards, and I just always enjoyed the song. So here I am.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the first big band show or first jazz show that you saw that blew you away, that made you think, man, I'd love to do that someday?
The first show? Wow, that's a good question. I think just watching the old, like, Dean Martin movies where he would get up and just, spontaneously, supposedly, would break into song. I just always enjoyed his demeanor and the songs he was singing. And I thought, man, that looks like it would be really cool to do. And like I said, I do about 3 or 4 Dean Martin songs, and I just have a great time with them.
If anyone out there wants to learn more about you and the band, where is the best place to go? Gigs, rehearsal, as you mentioned, anything pertaining to the band, where can they go? Well,
once again, definitely you feel free to call the number you're talking to me on. That's my cell phone, 816-830-9499. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Dan Riggs Big Band. All is one word, Riggs with 2 G's. You can email me, Dan Riggs, once again with 2 G's, danriggsbigband@yahoo.com. And I'll give you any kind of details I can about where we are and where you can catch us.
And then one more time for the Make the Music Day, tell everybody where that's going to be and any details pertaining to that so anybody out there can go.
Well, the Dan Riggs Big Band will be at the World War I Museum Memorial, which is I believe the address is just One Memorial Drive, but it's down by Union Station in Kansas City, and we will be there from 6:30 to 8:30. And if you do come out, my only request is that when we finish, they do a thing every night during the year that at dusk they play taps. So if you're there when they start that, I would ask you kindly show the respect that is due, and don't make any noise, please.
Cool, man. David, hey, thank you for reaching out to the program. Thanks for filling us in. I hope everybody gets out there and partakes in this day. It's a pretty cool thing that Kansas City is a part of. So thank you for reaching out. Best of luck with it.
No, thank you for giving me the time, and thank you for all you do for the jazz scene in the Kansas City area. My best to you and your program, and thanks for giving me this time to promote us.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and singers in Kansas City and spots all over the globe, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to David for being a fan of the show, reaching out, and for his story. If you want to hear more interviews, you can find Neon Jazz interviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube. And for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
These little town blues.
Neon Jazz.